Coach Zach, everybody. Hey, welcome. So this week, Marci and I are once again tackling a topic, and we've picked emotional eating. We've both been asking some questions. Been very interesting to see some responses. I'll say going into this, it shows how our experience, one thing I was learning today and realizing, it shows how our experience can filter our perception of, what we think is going on with other people statistically. When I get stressed and I'm overwhelmed, I'm an eater. I tend to gravitate towards overeating. And I have assumed that people who are similar to me as far as how they train, their bodies, being male, all that good stuff, seeing that there's a lot of people who are very similar to me that actually go with undereating when they start to shut down and get overwhelmed. So, I too am learning from these conversations. So this is pretty awesome. So today we're just kind of introducing this topic. So Marci, how would you define like emotional eating? If I come to you and I'm going to be one of your clients and I'm talking about, certain eating behaviors or patterns, what things make, your spidey sense tingle and possibly start looking at emotional eating issues?
Well, a lot of times what happens with a lot of my clients or patients, even, through the physical therapy thing is people will look for something that is going to satisfy something quick.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I'll have to have them look and say, okay, when is the last time you ate? Because if you ate within a certain amount of time, can't give away all my goodies, within a certain amount of time, then you're really not hungry, that there's something else going on. And, it's just it's a coping mechanism. A lot of people, their emotional eating, for those of you, I should say, who emotionally eat, and I'm going to make that a broad category. So, whether it is, you're feeling sad, you're mad, you're glad, all of those, you're bored, you're angry, everything like that. If you're reaching for food to try to cope with one of those, then that's being an emotional eater. Now you got on the other end of the spectrum, you got the emotional non-eaters. And then there's always the variation that some people are one emotion's going to do one thing and one emotion's going to do another thing. So not many people are solid into one group or the other.
Okay. So it's sounding more and more that it is a habit, it is a behavior, and it's something we've learned to do, like you said, in the presence of grief, sadness, fatigue. People are exhausted. That's a big one. It's been a big one in my past. So we're basically, it sounds like we're trying to strategize how to, are you thinking like get back to some form of equilibrium really quickly? Like the brain knows that if
everybody's a little different. You got to kind of get to the roots of the why. I mean, the why is such a overused concept nowadays, but it really does make a lot of sense. You've got to understand why. And if you really go back to cultural stuff with food, culture celebrates its togetherness with food. So birthdays, holidays, somebody's in town, it's always been food centered. And so why wouldn't you reach for food when you're having some sort of emotional response? We've been basically
conditioned.
We've been conditioned to reaching for food whenever there is any kind of non-status quo something going on in our lives.
Right. Yeah, I think it was my son's first birthday party. We did like a watermelon cake instead of a traditional cake. And I think I might have freaked a couple people out just by breaking up that norm, because you start to throw those things in there and it's not as expected. And, you don't give a kid a cake and ice cream on a birthday. Someone might think you're, abusing them literally. So there are those social things. So you said that every day we talked this week, we were going to start going into, you're going to give everybody kind of a suggestion. Something to look at and start kind of playing with or think about. So what is your big tactic or strategy today that you want to reveal to everybody?
So today, what I want you guys to do, and this is going to be a very brief over thing, is I want you to, before you go and indulge in whatever it is, I want you to think about, are you hungry? That's it. That's all I want you to think about is, are you actually hungry? And I have a lot of little varying ways to determine if somebody truly is hungry or not, but we're just going to kind of leave that there. I just want to kind of be really brief, but just think about this. are you actually hungry? And then, you know, it'll give you at least a little bit of time to think before you start indulging in whatever. The ice cream was a big one. Alcohol was a big one that I noticed on the
Yes.
thing. So just think about it. Like, are you actually hungry? So
Okay. And what kind of what are some signs and symptoms of hunger? Obviously, we all know what physical, like stomach hunger looks like. Are you also referring to, like, you know, cloudy, foggy thinking, emotional crashing, things like that? I mean, like, how do we differentiate those factors and those sensations?
Probably the most simple way to differentiate between if you're hungry or not is, does it come on quickly or does it come on slowly?
Okay.
If you truly are hungry, and then there's, you know, a time frame in there as well for when you ate last, and I have a lot of reasoning for those specific times. Again, they're very individual for the person. However, slow hunger actually comes on slowly. It's not a quick, I gotta have. It's something that comes on, and it's always equated to like labor pains in women. So how it kind of grows and then it goes away. And it gets a little bit more intense, and then it kind of goes, and then it gets more intense, and then it gets closer and closer together on each of them. So if you are truly hungry, it's going to come on slowly and increase in intensity. Now, if it's something that hits you like a brick wall, that's a craving.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, I think that's a really good way of differentiating to begin. So thank you. Okay, so that's it for today. We got some spots remaining where they're filling up, but we're just doing this to promote our program, the 66-day whole body fix. So if you have questions about this topic, post it down below. If you're interested more in what the program entails, we're going to keep running through it leading up, but we do have a time restriction. What is it, 6 days or 5 days until the price goes up?
Yeah, this Saturday, the price
This
is going to go
Saturday.
up. Yeah.
Right.
So the 24th.
Okay. Okay, 24th. Yep, I'll have to make sure I put that in all my posts.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the time, Marci. We'll chat with you tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you on Facebook. Make it a great day. Bye.